Do I regret moving to Alabama? Let's talk about sacrificial love in the ministry. I do think this doesn't get talked about a lot or very often, which is really unfortunate because, yes, you have to sacrifice a lot for the ministry, but it's such a rewarding type of sacrifice. And I feel like that's the part no one gets to or no one talks about. That's why you hear so many pastors' kids leave, not only church hurt. There's things that if you live in that pastoral life, like it's not easy. But when you finally get past the not easy, it gets very, very beautiful. And it's so worth it. But I did think, just gonna throw it out there, a little controversial, I do think you have to be called. You cannot just call upon yourself to be a pastor. But anyway, aside, uh, let me tell you about my family's first biggest sacrifice for the ministry, how it happened, when it happened, and why it happened, and also what happened. I guess we could start off in the summer of 2005. We lived in California, where dreams are made of. We would always go to Mexico because my dad, en esos tiempos, él era un obrero. Obrero, would it be like a missionary? So the pastor would send him to other churches to help him out and preach. Summer of 2005, we were going down from LA to Tecate. You know that Mexico is right just like 4 hours down. It's straight down on the map. So our pastor, he calls my dad and says, "Hey, I need you to check out a church in Alabama and help him out." Really commend my dad because he never, he always followed the voice of God. He asked God in this case. He's like, "Okay, what do you want me to do?" And God said, "Go." Instead of from here to here, we started going in sideways all across the U.S. to little old Alabama, to the butt of nowhere of Alabama, which is so funny because as we were driving to Alabama, I was like, we came to the park. This is insane. This is not real. At 5 years old, people are always like, you cannot remember you were 5. But since it was such a major life event that happened, it marks a time of your life. And so all the memories around it, you either choose to not remember them or to remember them. And in my case, I chose to remember them. We had our clothes for a weekend that we were going to be in Mexico. Okay. And it was about to be fall in Alabama. And Alabama, actually gets cold. So when we got here to Alabama and went to this church, the church was like, "All right, you're the pastor." My dad was like, "Whoa, whoa. No, yo no soy su pastor. Voy a llamar al pastor, our head pastor, and we're going to talk about it." I don't know who your pastor is. If you guys, if your pastor is gone, we got to fill somebody in, but I'm not a pastor. I'm just filling a space. Our head pastor said, "Hey, what's your church?" And my dad said no. The end. Just kidding. So interesting because he said no, so he was like, "Okay, then I just need you to hold the fort down. Let me find someone who will." So we lived in this ratty motel that they now tore down, by the way, for a week. Not even a week. It was disgusting. There was bugs everywhere. There was no upkeep. But it was also the butt of nowhere in Alabama. No one was staying at a motel. No one even came here to visit. Actually, even people don't leave from here. Even met people in college that were like, "I've never been outside of Alabama." So that was a phenomenon coming from LA. So I didn't talk like the kids from here. And I didn't understand the teacher. Every day, I remember that my dad would pray. He was on his knees in the nasty hotel room. He was on his knees praying, asking God to help him out. And what was his purpose here? Why was he here? And then finally God said, hey, that's your church. And he was like, I got you. Because of that, we started going to this church, right? And we then became the pastoral family. Thing about the pastor that was there, took his kids, which that was the whole band. My dad, before he met God, played bass his whole life. He picked up his bass and started playing. He put my brother, who was 8 at the time, on the drums, which my brother had no experience. Oh, and they gave me a mic, which is great because if you know me, I love to talk. And I love to sing, and I love to do anything that has to do with my mouth moving. I wish I was lying, but it's not true. I mean, it's not a lie, but so that's kind of how we started. And that was like the biggest sacrifice at the earliest time of my life. My dad went back to LA by himself. Okay, he went back to LA by himself, sold the house with almost everything in it. And whatever fit in that car was what was coming. And that was it of our childhood house memories, anything. That was the beginning of something, the start of something new. It feels so right to be here with you. Sorry. Do I regret moving here? No. Do I regret moving to Alabama? No. But for me, this is my home. This is my place. And I love that life is slow. People are nice. We thank God every day, But it's all this to say that our sacrifice was so rewarded. It wasn't even my sacrifice in a way, but it definitely impacted me at such a young age. Life in the ministry was definitely rocky. Would I change anything now that I'm older? No, I would not. I would not change a single thing. Like, how to redo life again, I would do it exactly the same way with the hardships and all, and the people included and everything, because they formed me into the best person I am today. And that's someone that still loves to go to church, still very, very involved, and would do anything for the congregation and for the church, honestly. Let me read Ephesians 5:2. Live in love as Christ also loved us. He gave his life for us as an offering and sacrifice, a soothing aroma to God. Live in love as Christ also loved us. I think that's so key. The common thing to say is, what would Jesus do? And to tell you that what Jesus actually did is that he loved, sacrificed his life for that love. And so if you truly love the church and your function in it, there's going to be sacrifice. But the reward is so much greater. And that's truly worth looking forward to. So yeah, don't give up.